You know the feeling. You're scrolling through your feed, and then it happens again. A video about a hobby you were just thinking about pops up, an ad for a product you literally just mentioned to a friend. It feels like magic, right? Or maybe something a little more invasive. Well, here's the thing. It's not magic. It's a system. And today we're going to pull back the curtain and show you exactly how that system works.
Okay, let's just get right into it with the question we have all asked ourselves. And yeah, the popular theory is that your phone's microphone is always on. But the truth? It's actually a lot simpler than that. Something is listening for sure, but it's listening to your clicks, your likes, your shares, and every single swipe you make. So how does this whole thing work? Well, to really understand your super advanced hyper-modern feed, we actually have to go back in time, because the secret blueprint for today's AI, it was written decades ago with 4 simple pillars of classic marketing. First up, we've got demographics. This is the absolute basics, right? How old are you? Where do you live? It's basically marketing 101. It's the system's first really broad brushstroke to make sure it's not, showing ads for retirement homes to a teenager. Next, there's geography. This one zooms right in on your location. Are you in a specific country, a city, or even a particular neighborhood? This is exactly why you see ads for the local pizza place down the street and not one halfway across the globe. It's all about making your feed feel relevant to your little corner of the world. Okay, so now things start to get a little deeper. Psychographics. They're not about who you are on paper, but how you are as a person. What do you believe in? What are you passionate about? This is the layer that tries to figure out if you're sustainability-focused or wellness-driven, really trying to understand your personality, to connect on a much more emotional level. And the final pillar, and honestly, the most powerful one, is behavior. This is a game changer because it's not about what you say you like, it's about what you actually do. Every single click, every video you pause on, every item you add to a cart and then abandon, it's all a signal telling the platform exactly what you're likely to do next. But here's the most important thing to get. These 4 pillars, they aren't just separate boxes the system checks off. They're layers. The algorithm stacks them all together to create a profile that is uniquely you. So, you're a 35-year-old man, that's demographic, in Chicago, that's geographic, who values sustainability, psychographic, and just browsed for electric cars, that's behavioral. See? It all combines into one dynamic digital identity. So, now you've got this incredibly detailed blueprint of a person, but a blueprint is pretty useless without an engine to actually build something from it. And that's where the algorithm comes in. It's the powerful system that brings your profile to life. And of course, every engine needs fuel. For the algorithm, that fuel is your data. Every like, every comment, every video you watch all the way to the end, heck, even the content you hit not interested on, it all goes right into the tank, constantly feeding the machine. And this creates this incredibly powerful and constant feedback loop. Step 1, you interact with some content. Step 2, that data gets collected. Step 3, your profile is instantly refined based on that action. And step 4, new, even more personalized content is served right up to you, which of course causes you to interact again, and the loop just gets smarter and smarter and smarter. So what's the end result of all this? Well, the algorithm literally begins to craft your entire digital world. But here's the thing. Recently, the way it crafts that world has completely changed. We're talking about the massive shift from the social graph to the interest graph. You can actually see this change perfectly in the generational divide. The algorithm learned that Gen Z responds to short, raw, kind of authentic-looking videos, so it just feeds them an endless stream of TikToks and Reels. But it also learned that a lot of millennials might prefer longer, more value-driven stories, so their feeds look totally different. The algorithm isn't just catering to groups anymore, it's shaping entirely different digital realities for them. And look, this is probably the single biggest shift you need to understand. The old internet, it was built on a social graph. Your feed was based on who you knew, your friends, your family, the pages you followed. But the new internet, it runs on an interest graph. Your feed is based almost entirely on what you do. Your connections just don't matter nearly as much as your behavior does. And this whole thing leads to a really fascinating, kind of weird paradox. The algorithm learned that we, as humans, crave authenticity, content that feels raw and real. So what did the market do? Well, it started to manufacture authenticity. That unpolished video you just watched that felt so genuine, yeah, it might be the result of a highly calculated, totally monetizable strategy. So we've got this incredibly powerful, personalized system. It feels seamless, almost magical. But it's time to look at the price tag. Because this level of personalization isn't free. It comes at a cost to our privacy, to our society, and maybe even to our own sense of what's real.
This quote from the research really just nails it. The highly personalized experience is enabled by a system of ubiquitous commercial surveillance. What does that mean in plain English? It means to get that perfect feed, platforms have to watch everything you do. That's the unspoken bargain we've all kind of made. And a huge part of the problem is that we can't see how these decisions are being made. It's what people in the industry call the black box problem. Why did you see that post? Why was your comment all of a sudden removed? The algorithm makes the call, but its logic is a complete mystery to us, which makes it almost impossible to hold the system accountable for anything. And this black box has some very real and, frankly, very dangerous consequences. It can amplify bias, reinforcing harmful stereotypes over and over again. It creates echo chambers where you only ever hear opinions you already agree with. And it builds these filter bubbles where your reality is curated to edit out any challenging perspectives, which just shrinks your view of the entire world. Because when you strip away all the fancy tech talk, the algorithm has only one goal, one prime directive: maximize your engagement. Its entire purpose, the only reason it exists, is to find whatever it takes to keep you scrolling for as long as humanly possible. And what is the tragic, unintended result of that one simple goal? The amplification of polarization. Because the algorithm has learned a really dangerous truth about us as people. Nothing keeps us glued to the screen quite like anger and outrage. So it feeds us more of it, pushing all of us toward the extremes and just deepening the divides in our society. So we've looked at the blueprint, we've seen the engine, and we've talked about the cost, which leaves us with one final and really critical question. Ultimately, it all boils down to this. The bargain gives us this world of endless, perfectly personalized content that knows exactly what we want to see. The price we pay for it is our privacy, a more biased society, and deeper division. The question we have to leave you with is that trade-off actually worth it?